I'm muted now. Raouf, are you there?
Yeah,
Was I muted this whole time?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's
It's okay.
embarrassing.
It's okay. It's okay, so.
All right. Well, welcome to class, Raouf.
Thank you.
Um, tell us something about yourself. This is the first day that I've known you, so tell me a little about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Raouf. I'm 18 years old, high school student. I live in Algeria, and English is the third language for me.
Wow. So, what are the other two?
Arabic and French.
Cool. Very cool.
Uh,
Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
And Viviana, welcome to class.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, Viviana?
Very good, thank you.
Excellent. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Very cool picture. Your
Thank you.
sunglass lightning bolt picture. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. All right. Sandra, welcome to class.
Hello, good morning.
How are you today, Sandra?
Fine. Thank you.
Any
You?
plans for the weekend? It's coming up. Just one more day till the weekend.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Maria, welcome to class. Maria? I heard you for a second.
Hello.
Hi, Maria. I can hear you, but you're very, very faint. Your volume is really low. But I can hear you. Well, now I can't hear you. Where are you from, Maria?
I'm from Colombia. I'm new in this class in Berkeley. It's fine. I found the good website and I like it. This is my first class.
Very nice. Well, welcome to Verbling. If you or anyone else has questions, just let me know during class or after class or on Facebook and my Verbling profile, which are in the chat box for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Martin, welcome to class. Martin, are you there? You're muted, Martin. At the top of your screen, probably here. All right. Anna, welcome to class.
Hello, Michaela. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Anna?
I'm fine, thank you.
Your week is almost over. How's your week been so far? Pretty good?
Yes, yes, pretty good.
Excellent. And
Okay.
Alberto, welcome to class.
Hello, Michaela.
Hi,
How are you?
Alberto. How are you? Ooh, thanks. I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Awesome. Let's get started then. So I'm going to screen share the notes today. I'm having trouble uploading these documents to the Verbling platform, so I'm going to post these to my Facebook later. If you guys want to keep these notes, keep an eye out on my Facebook. I will post these notes in a little bit. And let's get started. So today we're talking about collocations. And specifically, we're going to discuss certain words that are very commonly mixed up. But let's talk about what a collocation is first. Viviana, have you worked with collocations before?
Not really. Oh, I don't know, maybe, but I don't know what does it mean.
All right. Can anyone else give us an idea of what a collocation is?
Yes, I think is collocate subject verbs in correct position. Maybe or not?
Uh-huh. Yes, that definitely is part of what a collocation is.
Okay.
Anyone else want to add to that definition?
I
All right.
think
Go ahead.
when you must to choose some words with the same meaning. You must to choose one word or another.
Yes. Yes, that's a pretty good idea of what collocations are. So I'll give you guys some examples of collocations, and that is something like the difference between do and make. I would say make money and make dinner, but do my homework. And I can't say make my homework, and I can't say do dinner or do money. That's impossible. So it's just, there's no real grammatical reason why, it just is. So it's one of those things that it's a common expression and you have to memorize it, and there's no real like grammatical rule as to like why do is better than make in that particular situation. It just is. So today we're going to talk about a few words that are commonly confused, and they are speak, talk, tell, and say. We've got a first little taste of what we're going to be talking about in this first sentence. How many times have you misused these 4 words? I speak English, I talk to my friends, he told me a secret, and you know what I'm saying? So all of those words are really, really similar, but most of the time they have very specific usages, and you cannot change them. So I can't say I talk English, and I can't say I say to my friends. We've got really specific rules that go along with these. So let's learn a little bit about the differences here, and we're going to start by comparing say and tell. So for this first section, I'm going to ask Alberto to read for us. Read a little bit about say for us.
I need to read the text or what?
Can you? Yes, that would be great.
Okay. Say means to speak words. The most common use of the word say is in report speech. Report speech is when you are repeating what someone has said. When speaking in report speech, we often make statements and it is not necessary to add the object. The object is what's receiving the action in the phrase. For example, he said he was going to be late. What did he say? When he said he was leaving, we all got really sad. In these examples, you'll notice that I haven't used an object. When we use say, generally the recipient of the action is not as important as what we have to say.
Thanks. Okay, and again, I'm going to repeat that there's a problem for some reason uploading these notes to Verbling, so I can't, but I'm going to post them to my Facebook later. So if you guys want to know more about this and keep these notes, check my Facebook, and I will post them there. All right, thank you very much, Alberto, for reading all of that say. So knowing now what that paragraph is about, let's make some sentences. I'd like everyone to make a short sentence and write it in the chat box if you can. And if you don't have access to the chat box, just let me know and I'll ask you to say a sentence for us, using say in the appropriate way.
Could you repeat it, please?
Repeat the exercise?
Okay. No problem.
Teacher,
Yeah.
can you show us the right now? I can see the screen, the word.
Do you need it to be bigger?
No, now I can see the word, but before that I couldn't.
Okay, it's okay now?
Yes.
Good. So I'd like everyone to write a quick sentence. It doesn't have to be a long sentence, doesn't have to be complex. just a quick sentence with say. Okay, he said he wanted to go first. Excellent. Simple but clear. So we talk about what. With say, the important thing to remember is that we're talking about what, not who. So the object, the indirect object, is less important than the direct object here. And you guys can continue writing your say words while we read a little more about how we use say when we do want to talk about who. We've got one more section that concerns say. Anna, can you read that section for us?
Yes. Prepositions for say. To, that. If we are going to use an object, we always use the preposition to. For example, he said to Steve that he was going to be late. I said to him that I couldn't go. We use to show who are directing our words, and at and that to say the information.
Thanks. Okay. So when we want to attach who, the person, the object, the indirect object, who, then we have to use to, and we still have to attach what. So in every situation, when we use the verb say, we have to say what was said. All right. You guys continue working on a couple say sentences, but we'll go on and read a little bit more below, and we'll come back to do some more examples in a second. So that was a lot of information about say. Now let's learn about tell. And this first part here that gives us information about tell, let's have Maria read for us.
Okay, tell. In comparison to say, when we use tell, we need to use the object. This is because when using tell, who receives the information is more important than the information itself. For example, I told you about the party. Have you told him the news? Have you told him the news? She always tells me that. I often hear people saying, she tell what to do. This move big incorrect because we need to use the object. The correct form will be, she tell me what to do.
Excellent, thanks. So tell is very different from say because this one, it becomes way more important who said it or who you were telling. So the indirect object is more important here than the direct object. You could say, I told you, and that would be a complete sentence. And you can say, I told you about the party. You can add that other information. But the most important information is who you were talking to when you said this thing. All right, and we have some prepositions to use with tell as well. And let's have Martin read this section for us. Can you read the prepositions for tell section? It goes on to this page and the next. Oops. Martin, are you there? Okay, I can't hear you, Martin. So Nunta, can you read for us?
Okay, okay, teacher. When, when we use to wish tell, we are giving someone an order or making a strong request. I told you to buy me a drink. Didn't I tell you mind your own business? About to tell someone about something is used to pass information about an event or a series of events which happen to a person. Let me tell about a girl I know. She had a ding about an hour ago. This, did I tell you about my party? That when we use that, we are expressing an action or more permanent situation. To compare example, I can say, did I tell you about she is pregnant? I would have to say, did I tell you about her pregnancy? Did she tell you that she was pregnant? Did I tell you I changed call number?
All right. Thank you very much. That was a lot of information about prepositions with tell.
Okay, thank
Do you
you.
guys have any questions before we review about what we just read?
I don't know if you are going to tell us about the difference because I know the grammar, but I always ask myself when can I use say and tell if yeah the situations when I can use it.
So the meaning of the words are very similar, but the difference is how we use them in a sentence. So in a sentence, if you want to emphasize who you are talking to, you would use tell. Like if I was talking to my sister, I might say, I told her that. And then I can add on more information or not. But the main difference is grammatical. It's not in the definition and in the situation, but it's about how you use it in the sentence with an object. So if I want to emphasize the who, then I'm going to use tell. If I want to emphasize what was said, then I'm going to use say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, the prepositions are also different between the words. So the prepositions change. We usually do not use the preposition about with say. We only use it with tell. But both of them use to or that. The only difference is that with say, you'd say to him, to her. And with tell, it becomes to do something, to run, to jump, to do her homework. So with tell, it's about what was being said, and with say, it's about who it was being said to. Do you guys have any questions?
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
When we are talking about to, in the first example we read before about the first sentence, we read before in
With
the
say or tell?
with to. I told you about the
Both of
verb.
them use. Both
No,
of
no.
them use with tell. To with tell, not to with say. This one here?
I told you to buy me a drink. It's when you want to emphasize the instruction.
Yes, exactly. That's a very strong request, kind of
But
like a scolding.
but if you would like to do this sentence without this order, this strong order, which kind of sentence we must to use? Is correct to say I told you buy me a drink? Not or not?
Yeah, you can. So you can replace this subject with anything. I told her to buy me a drink. I told you to buy me a drink. But it remains a strong request if we form it in this way. If you're just trying to tell, like narrate what happened, you might say, I said she should buy me a drink.
Okay.
So you can make it a little softer by using a modal verb, maybe. If you're trying to make it like less of a strong request, you can use a modal instead of saying I told you.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Okay, then let's review a little bit. I like to review what we just read to make sure that everyone is on the same page and we're understanding and we can put it into our own words. Let's talk about say first. So what did we learn about say? Viviana, can you tell us a little bit about what we talked about with the verb say?
Okay, we can use say when you don't want or you don't need to use the object or the person.
Mm-hmm.
And usually you use say if you want to report something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for example, my mom said that she was happy yesterday at the party. I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yes, excellent. Great. And Sandra, will you review some of the things we learned about the verb tell?
Yes, uh, we can use tell when mm, when you want to remark uh, about information about the information, no, about who told the information,
Mm-hmm.
not about the subject.
Yeah. So not the subject of what was being said, but when it's focused on who you were talking to. Great. Okay, any other comments or questions before we move on to some other verbs? We're going to get more practice with this once we're done reading all about them. But for now, we're going to move on. Okay, so now we're going to do talk and speak. Let's read a little bit about these two. These are very similar. So let's have Rauf read the highlighted section.
Speak and talk are synonyms and in most cases interchangeable. The main difference between the two would be that speak is used in more formal situations, and talk is for more informal conversations. When used as a noun to give a speech, it would be a formal presentation. Presentation. Presentation as opposed to give a talk sounds more casual.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And we saw an example of the difference in formality above. In the very beginning, when we said, I talk to my friends, I would almost never say, I speak to my friends, because speak is a lot more serious. It's more formal. So if it's my friends, I talk to them. I don't really speak to them, even though they mean essentially the same thing. The definition is the same. One is just a little more formal than the other. So let's get some more info on the word talk, because there are some specific differences. Let's have Nunta read this highlighted section for us.
Did did you all recognize the famous line from the movie Taxi Driver? Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Although this word is not so common in English, talk would be the same as saying converse. No, I'm not talking about the snacker. I mean to converse with another person. In spoken English, we commonly use the word talk in the continuous form. For example, I was talking to him about the Real Right English event. The movie was really good, but people kept talking during the best part. This guy talks forever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, so the focus here is on communication or conversation, and it's a little less formal. Now let's read about which prepositions we use with the verb talk. And this is a short section here. And I'm going to ask Martin, are you there? Unfortunately, I think we can't hear you, Martin. Sorry about that. How about Maria? Can you read that short section for us?
Talk. To about. We use to show how we are directing our words and are about to give the information. I need to talk to you about last night. Did he talk to you about his trip?
Thanks. All right, so again, we have the prepositions about and to.
Teacher,
Any questions? Yeah, question?
isn't correct to say I need to talk to you about last night?
Nope, we have to have that to because it's an infinitive.
Oh,
I
okay.
need to talk to you. All right.
Yes,
Any
thank
other
you.
questions about talk in this information here? Okay. Then we're going to go on to speak, and we're going to come back, try to remember all this stuff, because we're going to come back, we're going to summarize what we were learning, and we're going to be writing sentences with these. So if you guys do have questions, definitely let me know. So let's learn a little more about speak, and let's have Anna read this section for us.
Sorry. Speak is also used when we are referring to languages or when conversations are more of a monologue. How many languages do you speak? Can you speak English fluently? He was speaking to his employees about the new services. I have to speak to you about the next real-life event. As you can see, speak sounds more formal than talk. If someone said that they wanted to speak to me, I would consider it more important than if they had said they wanted to talk to me.
Thanks. All right, and we have a few prepositions as well that we're using with speak. Let's learn about the prepositions. How about Alberto? Can you read that for us?
Yes. Prepositions with speak. To, about. Just like tell, we use to and about to direct our words and give information. Did you speak to him about our new project? With. We use with to say who we are speaking to or how that person speaks, usually in reference to their accent.
Yes.
Have you ever... sorry?
Yes. Two more sentences, two more lines. Go ahead. Sorry.
Have you ever spoken English with an Australian? They speak with a really strange accent.
Awesome. Okay. So let's summarize what we learned about the differences between speak and talk. How about Rauf? Can you tell us a little bit about what the difference is here? Rauf, are you there? All right. Then Sandra, can you tell us a little bit about the information we learned about talk?
Talk is used when you are in an informal situation, and we can use speak to formal situations.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And
And
we can use speak when we are talking about languages.
uh-huh. Yeah.
That's all, I think.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary. There's just one other detail. Does anyone else want to add a little more of the important difference between speak and talk?
Yeah, speak. You use speak, especially when in a formal situations,
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to say something about a monologue or speaking about languages, and talk is more informal.
Definitely true. There's one other difference that I'd like to highlight, and that is that talk usually is more of a participation type thing. It's a conversation between two people, and sometimes speak is a little bit more of one person, like I speak to you and you are silent, versus talk is always with more than one party. It's not just a one side, but it's two or more people. So sometimes that can make a difference as well. Like I speak at the meeting means everyone is being quiet while I'm talking, versus if I talk at the meeting, it means I say something and maybe people ask questions and there's a back and forth conversation versus a one-sided speech. Okay. Questions so far?
No.
Excellent. Then let's go on. Let's look. Okay. So now we have some expressions that we're going to get to in a second. But let's do a little practice first. I have an exercise I'm going to screen share for us. And it's on a different, oops, tech problems. Okay, I'm going to switch over to a different document so you guys can see an exercise that we're going to work on together. Okay, so we have 6 sentences where you have to choose which is the best word. And then in the next one, you have to just select one from the words we've been talking about. And these ones also include the word discuss. So that's going to be an interesting conversation as well. Number 1. How about, let's start with Viviana. Can you do number 1 for us?
Yeah, he told me that he couldn't attend the meeting.
And why did you choose tell?
Because if I want to use said, I need to put the preposition to me, so it wasn't there. So
Yes, exactly. Awesome. Thanks, Viviana. Sandra, can you do number 2?
Yes. He said that he was sorry for his mistake.
Excellent. And why did you choose say?
Yes, it's for the same reason than the other sentence, because it's not because to isn't in the sentence.
Okay, there's no to. So if we wanted to use tell in that sentence, how would we have to change it, Sandra?
He said to me that he was sorry for his mistake.
Okay, that's another possibility if we wanted to add an object. Of course, it's not necessary with the verb say. Thanks, Sandra. Number 3, Raouf. Will you try number 3? And we haven't talked much about the word discuss yet, but we're going to talk a little bit about it now. So you get to be the guinea pig here in this experiment.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
We discussed about the situation in Japan.
Interesting. Okay. So, no, it is not discussed. And now we're going to talk about why it is not discussed. Does anyone already know why it wouldn't be discussed? Okay. So if no one has any ideas, I'll break it down. Earlier when we used the verb talk, we saw how the preposition about is frequently used with talk. Talked about this, about that. We use the preposition to say exactly what was the subject, right? But with discuss, we need an object directly after, and we can't use a preposition. So with discuss, we need the subject, and there's no preposition involved. So if we were going to use discuss in sentence 3, we'd have to take out about, and it would sound like this. We discussed the situation in Japan. Versus if we use the verb talk, we have to add in the preposition about, making it, we talked about the situation in Japan. And thank you very much, Raul, for being our guinea pig. I know you didn't have any information going into that one, so thanks for helping us out. And Nunta, will you do number 4?
For I think we discussed the new marketing plan. We
Yes.
discussed the new just
Excellent.
discuss
Now, why do you
teacher.
think it's discussed?
Because not if you talk must have talk about.
Exactly. Thanks, Nunta.
Okay.
Maria, number 5.
Will she speak to you about the reorganization plans?
All right, and why did you speak?
Because for preposition too, because it's more formal speak to speak than talk because it's the reorganization plan. I think that it's possible to to to, to use in the business on meeting. I don't know. I think
Yeah,
that
I think you're right. I think this one seems like it might be more formal, and of course, the verb speak works really well here, so why not? We can use speak. This one is, I think, difficult because it really could be talk also. This one is kind of like on the edge. It could be speak, it could be talk. I think speak is a little bit better because it does seem like a formal situation. So I think you're right. But both are possible in this one. And Anna, can you do the last one in this exercise, number 6?
Yes. Did she speak about the cost of the project?
All right. And why did you choose speak?
Because I think that is a more formal situation. It doesn't give an object.
True. True. Okay. So this one I think is another one it's kind of debatable. And there's 2 different situations where we might use one or the other. I think speak works well. So if I were giving a presentation, I might speak about the cost of a project in my presentation, right? But if it wasn't a presentation, if the setting was less formal, like maybe it was just 2 business partners discussing something, then it might be more like talk because then we have 2 parties interacting. And when we have 2 people interacting, talk is a better word. So speak is good in this one if it was a presentation or a one-sided conversation. And talk would be better if it were 2 people, like if it were I was talking to my partner, my coworker. I might say, "Did you talk about the cost of the project to your coworker? Did you talk about that together?" So, excellent job, Anna. And we're on to the next exercise. Any
Okay,
questions on the first
thank you.
exercise? Yay. Okay. Then, Alberto, you get to do the first one in our next exercise. And this one, you can choose yourself any of the verbs we've talked about today. Go ahead and try it for us.
The number 7, yes?
Uh-huh.
Where is she? She told me she will be here half an hour ago.
So you said talk?
Yes.
And why did you choose talk?
Because there are 2 people speaking.
Okay. So your options here are say, tell, speak, talk, and maybe even discuss. And of all of those verbs, you think talk is the best?
Yes, I think.
Okay. Does anyone else have a different opinion?
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think we can use said. She said she would be here half an hour ago.
So I think say is also a little better than talk. But why? Do you know why?
Because he says the information or
Mhm.
something that
Yes.
when she said to me that she will be there of an hour ago. It's
Mhm.
information.
So since this one has really specific information, where say and tell are better options, and of course because the object is there, the direct object of what was said, say works better. So for this one, say is the best. Even though the other ones seem like they might work, it has a very specific idea of what exactly was said. And when we use talk, we usually use subjects, like talk about the cost or the weather or the day. So that's a general topic, not like a specific line that was said. All right.
All
Thank you
right.
for being our first one on that, Alberto. Brave. And Kevin, welcome to class.
Hello, teacher. Hello, everybody.
Good to have you with us. Are you all caught up in class or do you need a little review?
No, just can go ahead.
All right, cool. Would you like to try and answer one of these for us?
Yes.
All right, then we're going to do number 8. You're going to fill in the blank with one of the verbs we've been talking about today. So your options are say, tell, talk, speak, discuss.
Okay. Number eight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I followed your office and I talked to your assistant.
Great. Yes. Wonderful job. Talk works really well there. I think maybe speak also works there. And ones that would not work there are say or tell or discuss.
Yeah.
I
All right.
have a
Thanks, Kevin.
question.
Yeah. What's
Um,
your question, Maria?
I found your office and this is in past. I need to use the other verbs in past too. Uh,
Yes.
always. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No problem. And Martin, looks like you're back. Can you hear us? Let me know in the chat box if your audio is getting any better. Okay, I still don't hear you, Martin. Let's do number 9. Viviana, will you try number 9 for us?
Do you have a free moment to discuss the security deal?
Yes, discuss works really well. Why did you choose discuss?
Because it doesn't have the preposition about. It's a general topic and it's like an issue, so maybe it's just to discuss.
Yes, excellent, Viviana. Sandra, can you do number 10 for us?
Yes. Mm, mm, I'll. Mm, I talk
All right, so
about,
I'll talk
about
for.
I talk for about half an hour, and then answer your questions.
And why did you choose talk?
Because I think it's an informal situation, and there are a lot of people involved in the conversation.
All right. Maybe. Why do you think there's a lot of people involved in the conversation?
Because I thought it's a person who are talking about something to another, and after that could be a discuss between all together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think you're on the right track, and talk does work in this sentence, but I think there's one verb that's a little better. Does anyone know which verb is a little bit better than talk?
Discuss.
Yeah, speak.
Speak.
And why is speak a little bit better than talk?
Yeah,
So why do you think that?
I think maybe it's like a lecture or something. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, so in this one, it kind of seems like a lecture or a meeting where the person says that I'm going to speak for about half an hour and then answer your question. So basically, the person is saying, I'm just going to talk for this period of time and it's just going to be me. And then after that, then it's your turn and you can ask questions. But because of the way that they're saying it, it sounds kind of like the person is saying, it's my turn for half an hour and then it's your turn. So it's less of a discussion and it's more of a one-sided sort of presentation or lecture or one person talking. So I think here, talk would be okay. That does work grammatically in this sentence, but that speak might be a little bit better. Thanks, guys. Teamwork.
Thank you.
And Raouf, can you do number 11?
Okay. I told him that he would have to wait for an answer.
And why did you choose tell?
Mm, I don't know, because there is him in the phrase.
Yes, that's an important reason.
Yeah.
So we have that object and the preposition after. Actually, that's not really a preposition, but it gives us what he says, but it gives us the person who he says it to first. Great. Thank you very much, Raouf. And
You're welcome.
Nunca, will you do number 12? Nunta, are you there?
Hello. But uh, I cannot, okay, I see. Sorry. What are you talk about? I'm sorry, I don't understand. What are you talk about?
Yes, so talk is the best verb. And what form would we conjugate talk in?
Present.
Present what?
Present continuous.
Yes.
Continuous.
Yeah, it needs to be the present continuous partially because we have the verb to be first, that are gives us the hint, but also because we talked a little earlier about how we frequently use talk in the ing form. So what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Okay.
Great. Thanks, guys. Do you have any questions on what we just went over or any of these verbs before we go and look at a few expressions?
I have a question about the 11. I can say I I I say to him.
Yeah, so if you want to use the verb say, it's possible, but you have to add the preposition, just like you did. So I said to him that he would have to wait for an answer. And I think that that would work, although I still think tell is a little better because this one is kind of like a request, like a strong request. You're saying like, I definitely not getting an answer. I told you, you're not getting an answer. So say also works, but it changes the idea a little bit. And good question. Any other questions? All right, then we're going to go back to our original document and look at some expressions that we use with these verbs and make some sentences. Okay, so expressions with say, tell, talk, and speak. A lot of these have Portuguese translations, but of course, if you do not know Portuguese, then you may ignore these. Let's look at some of them with say and then use them in sentences or clarify the definition if it's not clear. So the expressions we have with say is anything you say, like I won't argue with you, whatever you say is okay. Next one is easy for you to say, like it's difficult for me, you don't have experience, you don't know what it's like, so it's easy for you to say, it's difficult for me. Needless to say is like it's obvious, you don't need to say it because it's obvious. And would you say that? And that would be suggesting something, suggesting an idea. Like, would you say that summer is the best season? Suggesting that summer is the best season. Do you agree with me? And she says hi. That one's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So we have a few expressions there. Any questions on those? I'm guessing no. They're pretty simple. I'm going to read the tell expressions and then we're going to write some sentences. So, first one, something tells me that, meaning you have this idea or a hunch, a vague concept. Something tells me that it's going to rain today. You have this theory or hypothesis about the future. The next one, tell me about it. Means like, explain it to me. I don't understand. Explain it. To tell you the truth would be like, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like your cake, or, giving some kind of harsh truth. And you can tell, like, it's clear, it's obvious. You can tell that the house needs to be cleaned because it's obviously dirty. All right. So we're going to use some of these expressions in sentences, and we only have a few minutes left in class, so hopefully this will go quickly. I'm going to assign you each an expression and ask you to write a sentence in the chat box. Viviana, you get anything you say, the very first one on our list. Sandra, easy for you to say. Rauf, needless to say. Nunta, would you say that? Martin, something tells me that. Maria, tell me about it. Kevin, to tell you the truth. And Alberto, you can tell. So everyone write a quick sentence giving some context for the expression I gave you. And write it in the chat box for us.
Can you repeat my sentences, please?
Yeah, yours is easy for you to say.
Thank you.
No problem.
Teacher,
Yeah.
can I say, I have the first one. So, for example, I will make anything you say, or it's not possible?
This would be kind of something, I'll give you a quick example and then you can make your own. I might say, well, I recommend getting the chocolate cake instead of the vanilla cake, but anything you say, kind of like, it's not what I would choose, but I'm not going to argue with you, and it's your decision. So anything you say, I think you're wrong, but it's your decision.
Okay.
Awesome. We have a couple sentences ready. To tell you the truth, I'm going to party this Saturday. I'm sorry about it. Are you sorry, Kevin? You're not sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Excellent expression. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay.
Next up. Oh, this is from Martin. Yeah, sorry about your audio, Martin. That's a bummer that you couldn't really participate in class today. Hopefully you'll be able to write a sentence. You can write a sentence with one of these expressions. I think I gave you one. I think I gave you tell me about it, or maybe Something tells me that. So you can write us a sentence in the chat box and participate that way.
I am ready.
Awesome. Go ahead and read us your sentence.
Yeah. Mom say your daughter. Why were you late last night? Tell me about it. I don't know.
Awesome. It sounds good. Can you write it in the chat box for us so I can make sure everything is spelled correctly and it's all good?
Excuse me, could you repeat it again, please?
Yeah, your sentence is good. Would you mind writing us your sentence in the chat box?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So, you have these chat boxes over on the left. There's the Google chat box and the Verbling chat box. And that allows you to write us sentences and information or questions if you have any audio trouble.
Okay.
All right. I see another sentence in the chat box. Although we're going to run out of time for this, and I'm really sorry, but if you guys have an excellent sentence, send it to me on my Facebook.
Okay, bye.
The next sentence I see is in the Google chat. Ew, you don't have to tell me this. Ew, sorry. So your expression was needless to say?
Yeah.
All right. It's needless to say. That's a good context for that expression. Thanks, Raouf.
Okay.
All right, guys, I really hate to cut you off, but I have another class starting right now. So I hope to see you guys all in future classes, and thanks for coming and participating today.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.